Let's start in a seat. Let's start sitting. In any comfortable way, any comfortable seat. I'm just gonna sit back on my feet. You could sit on a blanket or just sit with your legs out in front of you or crossed into easy pose. But let's start sitting. Take a moment to just let the breath soften, let your eyes fall closed. Give yourself a moment of welcome. Welcome to all of you. And then you begin to follow the breath. Follow the breath wherever your breath leads you. Just notice, is it in the belly? Is it in the rib cage? Does it move your shoulders or your arms, your spine? Take a moment to honor your intention. Bring attention to your intention. What brings you to your practice on a personal level? Part of that intention might also be just in the aspect of being together in community, remote or virtual as it may be. It is still, in a sense, a shared practice. We're not practicing in isolation. We're not alone. Take another 2 or 3 breaths. And let the eyes fall open. And then just from your comfortable seat, if you need to switch positions, switch your seated position, of course, at any point, at any time, but let right ear fall to right shoulder. And just kind of see what's going on in the neck, the shoulders, left ear to left shoulder. Chin to chest. Right ear, right shoulder. Just letting the weight of the head fall to the side, fall forward, fall to the other side, lift it to the other side. Go back and forth. Go back and forth, ear to shoulder, and ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder, chin to chest. And then bring the head up and drop the head back. Nice, long, deep, long nodding the head, yes. Chin to chest. Drop the head back. And then just a few times in each direction, a full circle, comfortable circle of your head. Right there, moving through the top of the neck spine and a few times in the opposite direction. Then let's come from there onto your back. that over and just see if. See a bit better. Right. Okay, let's come down onto your back. Bring your feet to stand on the floor behind your hips. And then take a few rounds where you just push up, lift the hips, arms over your head to the floor. And then back down. Get a feeling for the movement that happens in the space of your inhale. And then in the space of the exhale. Let's move like that once more. Then move just the right arm, hips and spine up, right arm overhead. And then leave your arm there, let the spine come back down, hips to the floor, spine to the floor. Then press the feet, lift the hips, chest toward chin, and then everything comes back down together. Twice more, right arm. Stay close with your attention, right? The arm comes up and then we leave the arm and we finish the bridge pose and then we come back up. And then we bring the arm back down. Keep going. If you're okay in your low back, keep going. Left arm 3 times with the left arm. Right, we should start to feel a little bit of heat in the back of the pelvis. And the glutes are working to bring us into bridge pose and to help lower us back down to the floor. Once more. Good. And then bring your knees into your chest and just take a breath or 2, knees to chest. Open the lower back to the floor. Open the back of your hips. Good. And then bring your feet right back down to the floor where you had them. And let's do a few single leg bridge pose. So dynamic bridge pose, but single leg. So maybe bring your feet in a little closer together. So you're going to have your left foot more towards center and the support of your arms here, just helping to manage movement and to keep things nice and strongly supported. Take your right leg up into the air and then with a breath in or out, push foot that's still on the floor, lift your hips and then come back down. And you could just hover, you could just maybe not come all the way to the floor or do if you want to, and then press back up. And then lower. And do 3 more. And then lift through the extended heel, or you can be pointing your toes. Once more. Then both feet come to the floor and then take a breath here. Good, and then we'll use the right leg to press up and down. So take left leg up into the air, and then when you're ready, take a breath, press, lift. Can you feel the entirety of your right leg? You push the foot. You engage the entirety of the right leg and the back of the right hip. Just allowing each leg to work a little bit more in isolation. Once more. All the way back down. Good. We'll do a bridge pose once more before we come off your back and up onto all fours. We're just going to come to bridge pose, full supported bridge pose, or four-footed pose, right? Where you're really standing strongly in the feet. So you press your feet and lift your hips, and then enlist the support of your outer upper arms, your shoulders. Stand in your shoulders. Can you stand as firmly down through your shoulders as you are standing in your feet? Two more breaths. And then come down. Release from there, spine to the floor, hips to the floor, knees to your chest. Bring knees to chest. Okay, and then you could either come over onto your side, press up from your side to come up, or if you want to just take a little roll up from the back, roll up to sit, and then onto all fours from there. Breathe through a few rounds of cow pose and cat pose. Cat pose can extend back, right, to become extended child's pose. Up and down the spine, into the sides, right? If you know that your sides really enjoy a little side bending and a little bit of rotation, take another breath. And then from all fours, let's go back with the right foot. Push back through the heel, right? Feel the extension through the backs of your calves. Maybe you move a little forward over the ball of the foot or the tip of the toe and back just a few times, 3 or 4 times. And then we'll pick up that foot, pick up that leg, rather extend that leg straight back behind you and then bend the knee. Right, so the sole of the foot's looking at the ceiling, and then just lift the foot a little more. The knee drops a little bit, the knee lifts. The knee drops a little bit, the knee lifts as the foot lifts toward the ceiling. Do 3 more. We'll go 10 each hip. Feel a very strong squeeze in the glutes. So right knee to the floor, take your left foot back, stretch back through the calves here first, so on the back of your knee, push the heel back. And then from all fours, take the left leg into the air, bend the knee at 90 degrees, lift straight up through your heel. And then if you tend to, like I do, Charlie horse and the hamstrings, see if you can, try not to lift the foot by lifting the foot, try to lift the foot by just engaging the glutes. Just contract the glutes, squeeze the glutes, and let that be what lifts your foot. It's hard for me to just let the hamstrings be a little more neutral. They do a little bit of work here, but you want it to come mostly from your hip. One more. Both knees to the floor, and then just set your hips back. You can child's pose, or you can just kind of stay up a little bit, just off the hands, hips back towards your feet. 2 more breaths. All fours, high push-up position. Okay, so set that up. Then we go a slightly wider stance, so you've got a nice wide base of support in the plank pose. And then pick up your right hand, touch your left shoulder, and put your right hand back down. Pick up your left hand, touch your right shoulder, put your left hand back down. Side to side, right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. Drop your knees if you want to drop your knees. Right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. 3 more. Right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. 1 more. Right to left, left to right. Downward facing dog. Feel how nice downward facing dog feels after all of that. Open the shoulders. Just let this pull through the tops of the shoulders, across the chest. 3 more breaths. To come down, bend just the knees and sit back again, either in child's pose, just into the heels. Come back and sit on your feet and take another breath or 2. Good. So we'll find downward facing dog again, and then we'll just do a little dynamic movement from downward facing dog through into the high push-up position, from there to a kind of a modified upward facing dog, or whatever feels right for your spine, right? Go only as far as what feels like comfortable flexion and extension up and down your spine. We will be bearing more weight and strength across the shoulders and the upper back. If your hands get tired, wrists get tired, of course, you can always come down or be in your fists. Okay, so come forward into your palms, hips back, curl the toes, lift the knees, downward facing dog. So take your stance a little wider, maybe just slide your feet back a bit so that when you shift forward, you're in a high push-up position and you're nice and long. And then just keep coming forward through the hips until they drop. I'm on it's almost the tips of my toes, chest forward, like upward facing dog, and then press back through the plank pose to the downward facing dog. At your own pace, 4 more times. Give yourself time and space to breathe. A good squeeze of the glutes when you come forward and down, right, will help mitigate a feeling of compression in your lower spine. Once more. And back. Downward facing dog, adjust your feet. And then step to the top, walk to the top. Half forward fold. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, come up to stand. The arms float out and up over your head, palms together. Exhale, palms to your heart. Mountain pose. Good. Okay, so let's take the right knee, lift the right knee, step the right foot back. Warrior one. Come forward. Through the left knee just arrowing straight forward over your left foot. Two more breaths. Take a breath in and then transition out through to warrior two. Yeah, if you want to go a little wider, you might spread the feet a little wider, sit a little lower. Take a breath in. On the exhale, tip back, reverse. Inhale, come back. Exhale. Let's just go forearm to knee, modified extended side angle pose. One more breath. Right, pull back through the right arm. Bring both arms forward, reach out, and then reach down. Find the floor with both hands, and then find downward facing dog from there. Slide back, left foot. Take another breath. Good. And then shift forward into the high push-up position. Firm legs, firm hips here. Firm glutes here. Drop the hips, chest forward, like upward facing dog. And then go back, lift the hips, pull up through the belly. Strong pull of the navel back, downward facing dog. Then inhale, walk forward. Half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms over your head. Exhale. Mountain pose, take a breath. Okay, then let's go back, step back, left foot, warrior one. 2 more breaths, reach your thumbs back. Take a breath in, exhale, transition out into warrior 2. Breath in, on the exhale, reverse. Inhale, hold the leg steady, hip steady, elbow to knee, forearm to knee, extended side angle. Pull back through the left arm, all the way back up. And then both arms up and over. Find the floor, right, maneuver back through the 2 hands to slide your right foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward high push-up position. Exhale, continue to drop the hips, but hold firm through the back of the hips. Muscles of the spine, the spinal muscles, the chest lifting, pull up through the belly, and then back. Downward facing dog. Let's shift forward, high push-up position, but bring forward your left knee, like toward your left elbow. And then go back and go up with your left leg. And then bring it forward. Toward your elbow, toward your nose. And then go back. 3 more. Shift, swing, 2 more. Extend it up and back. And then left foot to the floor. And then drop your knees. Hips to your heels, or hero's pose. Take a minute, take just a moment to be out of your hands. Right, and then when you're ready, back into the pose, and then the same thing with the right leg. You shift forward, high push-up position, right knee, and then up. Forward and up. Feel the strength of your arms. Feel how strong you are in your arms and shoulders. Once more. Good. And then both feet downward facing dog. Walk forward. Come up. Okay, and then let's have a block. With your right foot a short step back. Do it this way. Take the block. Or you could be in a kind of a half forward fold, right? So that you're not all the way into fold, but you can still feel hamstring extension in your left leg as you push the foot and extend the knee. One more breath. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale. Right, and then you're gonna keep the block under just the right hand. If you want to bend the knee and turn the shoulders, come into revolved or modified revolved triangle pose. Stay here. If you want to play with balance, you could shift a little more forward so that weight goes more forward into right hand, left leg, left foot. And your weight shifts forward so that you can get off the right foot and take the right leg up and back. And if you want to, you could bend the knee again and lift the heel toward the ceiling. And I'm just facing downward, shoulders toward the floor. One more breath. Good. And then bring both feet. As for Uttanasana, come off the block, take a fold. And then let's take that block again under both hands and then just take a short step back with your left foot. Work that extension in and out of the right knee. Couple more breaths. Good. And then we're just going to swirl around one more time and show right the revolved. You could come into the revolved triangle pose. You could have a little bend in the front knee. Totally valid, totally legit bend in the front knee. One more breath. Good, and then you could stay here, right? You could stay here, just continue to work, revolve triangle pose or leg in the balance. Hip square toward the floor, shoulder square toward the floor if you want to bend the knee, and then again, lift the heel. Use the glute, use the left glute to lift the left heel. One more breath. Good, and then bring both feet into Uttanasana, spine to Uttanasana, arms to Uttanasana, come down into the fold. Come to a half forward fold. Step back to high push-up position. One more time. Continue letting the hips drop forward and down. Lift through the belly, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Drop the knees forward. And then let's come up onto the knees, right? So if you want to, you need to cushion up just a bit more here under the knees, another blanket, or double fold your mat so you have a little more cushion under tender knees. And then we can either keep the toes turned under or lay the tops of the toes back on the floor, totally up to you. We may not even, if you're not gonna go here, doesn't really matter where your feet are, this just might feel a little more stable. So let's just kind of lean back until you feel your thighs activate. And just keep that nice long line, knees through hips, spine, up to shoulders, out through the crown of the head. Lean back and then just begin from the thighs. Try to take the thigh bones more forward. Let that bring the hip bones more forward. Then take a breath in and lift the rib cage and bring the lower rib cage more forward. And then lift the chest. Just kind of build this little bit of arch in the spine, more into the mid back and the upper back. And then you're upright again, and you can just rest here. You can take a breath here, off the balls of the feet, or sit. I'll do that one more time. Camel pose, Ustrasana. Once more. If you know you have the space in the lower back and it doesn't over compress the lumbar spine, you're still largely working up here to open the chest and strengthen the support across the upper back in this pose. If your hands can reach your heels, feel free to drop back and reach for your heels. But start again through this leaning back. So you build it from the support of your legs and your hips. And then you just keep getting up and taller and up and taller and up and taller and more broad. And you could just roll the arms out and drop the arms back. Or reach for your heels. I just bring my fingertips to the backs of my heels. That's it. Think about how much this feels like bridge pose. Same action. Let the glutes push you forward and up. Good. And then reach for the floor. Maybe kick your feet off to one side so your hips could go to the other side and you could come forward and sit. And let's just move dynamically in and out of a spinal rotation. So on the next breath in, take your left arm up into the air. On the exhale, down and across, opposite knee. Inhale, take your right arm up. Exhale, across and down. Again, left arm. Cross and down. Right arm. Exhale. Left arm. Two more, each arm. Rotating gently through the spine, following back bend, following camel pose. Nice. Okay. Bring your legs out in front of you, extend, right? Reach through the heels, feel the drag of the sit bones, and then bring your hands next to your hips. Even tuck your thumbs so your arms can be really tight up close to your sides. Push. And then bring your arms in even closer. Breathe your rib cage into your arms. Push your arms into the sides of your ribs. 2 more breaths. Good. And then come out of your hands, wave your hands around, shake your hands around at the wrists. A nice kind of fatiguing tingling up into my upper arms, biceps. Had some work. Let's move from there. Back down onto your back. Let's take the arms, right, either over the abdomen, if you just want to sensate, right, a sense of the work of the abdomen on the exhale as you flatten and lengthen your low back and drop navel down toward the spine. You can just leave the arms on the floor next to your sides. Inhale, feel the arch in your low back, the arch in the lumbar spine, tilt of your pelvis, and then reverse. Draw navel toward the floor. Hold through the full and entire length of exhalation. Two more. Nice. Okay, and then let's bring the hands to the lower abdomen, right, to the pelvic abdominal muscles, which are maybe an inch or two, maybe lower than your navel. And so from there, when you pick up your feet, right, you pick up one foot and you feel the pelvis immediately do that tilt and draw in those muscles. We're going to pick up both feet. Hold this. Try to see if you can hold this the entire time. You're just touching the floor with alternating big toes. Just go for as long as you want to go. As long as you want to go, or as long as you can go. Maybe slightly longer than you think you can go. Right? This is trying not to move at all. Trying to stay long, low, into the floor, imprinted into your mat, lumbar spine. I'm going to take 3 more breaths. Drop both feet to the floor. Take a big breath in with both legs extended and your arms reaching up over your head. Long reach. And then if your block is handy, if you have a block handy or anything else, maybe a bolster, a couple of blankets, you could stack up underneath your sacrum. So just between sacrum and floor, supported bridge pose. You can leave it right there. You can just stay right here. You don't have to extend one leg and then the other leg. Sometimes you could extend, sometimes we can extend both legs, but it doesn't bother your back. You could just sink, you could just let the weight of the hips sink a little more every exhalation. The abdomen empty, let the abdomen drop. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then press down through the feet. Slight engagement of the glutes, come off the block. Take the block out from behind your back and then bring right ankle to left knee to chest. And hold that close and just hold that close. Finding something that feels a little more like easy pose with the shins crossed and pulling your feet down towards you is a little different, right? Same object of the stretches, opening the outer right hip. Roll a little bit to the left, that opens those muscle fibers even more. 2 more breaths. Yeah, switch when you're ready to switch. So about 5 breaths each side, each hip. Good. And then another maybe between 5 and 10 breaths of anything else you feel like you want or need, and then we'll set up for Shavasana. So you could just start here on your back soles of your feet together, knees wide if you want to rotate, knees to one side, arms wide, do a spinal twist. Just take what you need these last couple of minutes for asana, posture, practice. Two or 3 more breaths. Right, and then just grab whatever you need. Grab what you need to take a few minutes in Shavasana. So we'll go right up to the hour in Shavasana, and then we'll sit for a few minutes following that. If you want to stay and sit. Adjust anything you need to, environments, lighting, layers, etc. Let's take 5 minutes in Shavasana. 8 minutes in Shavasana. 8-minute Shavasana. Maybe you use just the first 2 or 3 minutes to get there. allowing your nervous system, allowing the breath and the nervous system to just continue. Sort of down regulation, moving toward a more kind of rested, relaxed feeling state. And see if you can not try. See if you can more or less just drop in. Let any tension in the jaw go, neck, throat, face. And then just stay close. Feel a rise and fall. Abdomen. Smaller and smaller movements. More quiet breath. Feel your body consciously at rest. Let's take another 2 or 3 breaths. Come to your most comfortable side. You're ready to come to your side and take a breath. A breath, maybe 2. Rest yourself from there to a comfortable seat. Just tuck a blanket between my heels and my hips. A little elevated seat. And if you want to stay, we'll stay 5 more minutes just to sit. Just to sit. Just to notice the effects of your practice. On the quality of your attention, on your inner state. Stay anchored, stay tethered in the present. In whatever way makes sense for you. Just keep coming back to breath. Keep coming back to sound. Other sensation. And we'll call any intention you might have had for practice. For your practice today, for your practice in general. honor that intention. Acknowledge the gift. Just take one more minute here. Just stay close. So we'll close here. Palms together in front of your heart. We'll close our practice here. Acknowledging your time once again. Time well spent, well deserved and well spent. As always, thank you for your time. And until next time, namaste. Enjoy the rest of your evening.